for a personal assistant who could effortlessly tackle all your routine tasks. Floworks is a generative AI SaaS company aiming to revolutionize workplace productivity. How you ask? The answer is Flowy. Welcome to Follow Startups. I'm your host Ankita Pava, and today we have with us Sarthak Shrivastava, the co-founder of Floworks. Sarthak is no stranger to entrepreneurial ventures, having navigated the e-commerce, logistics, and financial services industries across India, Singapore, and Philippines. Now, fueled by his passion for problem solving, he's channelizing his expertise into building Flowworks. Without any further ado, let's extend a warm welcome to Sarthak. Hi, Sarthak. Welcome to Follow Startups.
Hey Ankita, it was great meeting you.
Well, it's fantastic to have you here. So, before we get into any details about Flowwork and your flagship product, Flowy, could you please take a moment to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you for this. And I don't think I can do a better introduction than you did. But still, I'll try to do back that. So yeah, I've always been a startup buff. Have always worked through startup. I've always wanted to start something of my own. Started my career with a company called Happy, which was into B2B express management. They recently got acquired by Cred. There also I was doing relationships and relationship management and getting new partnerships in. Later on, I went NBCB worked with India's largest logistics unicorn called Blackbird. You might have heard of them. There, I built new initiatives, new businesses for them. Cumulatively, I built businesses which did over $30 million in annual revenue while I was still working there. Then that catapulted me to basically doing more of ops and doing more of new initiatives. I went and worked for a global company that was essentially working with companies like Gap, Lacoste, Marks and Spencer to automate their e-commerce omnichannel experience across Southeast Asia, Philippines, India, and so basically then the rest of the world as well later on, right? Over this whole thing, I basically became someone who has always become like someone who's like really passionate about solving difficult problems. So yeah, that's when I started Flowworks, and since 2022, I have been here.
Awesome. So, Satak, I'd love for you to start with telling our audience what you guys do at Flowworks, number one, and what are the pain points you are trying to address with it, and what sparked the idea of building Flowworks.
Sure, I'll do it in the reverse order. I'll start with how it started. Right? So it's a very personal thing, but for a lack of a better word, I generally am someone who doesn't like to update things. I procrastinate there a lot, right? Get me to do sales through the day, get me to do operations through the day. I'm happy to be on the customer calls, but get me to update the CRM 1 hour every day, and my life will drain out, right? And that was literally the problem that I was trying to solve. I was trying to solve a problem for myself, that so that I could not, or I would not do these mundane, repetitive, manual work. Rather, I should focus on what I was basically paid to do, which was actually selling or getting works done, getting onboarding done, right? And that was the original story of Floworks, right? I met with my co-founder. He's an IT head at top of his batch, and amazing with AI. It's one of the leaders of AI in this world right now. He has patents in generative AI as well. So I met him in 2021, and I was like, this I have this bug. I really hate this problem that I need to update. I need to basically do this manual work to get things done and to basically get the end result in. Can we basically can we solve this out somehow? And he was like, hey, have you heard of this amazing thing called GPT? And again, the interesting part of this was 2021. This was before 2023 when ChatGPT came out, right? He was basically working on that, and he was like, "Yeah, cool. Let me see." We started exploring it out, and we just soon realized that the power of generative AI could just solve everything out. So very quickly, telling you what our solution does is simply a AI employee for your sales organization. What is an AI employee? Let me ask that. Right? So every sales organization works in a very similar fashion, which is you first get leads or basically email IDs or phone numbers or basically cold emails to be reached out to. A cold email list. Then you basically have a prospecting sequence where you basically cold email or cold outreach them, then get them to basically follow up, answer their questions, do multiple things, which is again the manual work. Then you basically set up a meeting, go on that meeting. Now this is where the human gets in. You basically get on the meeting, do that sale, cool. Now you get out of the meeting. Next step is now going into the CRM cycle where you update things, do the task that has been asked in the meeting, and this loop continues 2 or 3 times, and finally you close the deal and move on to the next thing. Right? In this whole cycle, if you actually look at it, the places where actually a human was needed was getting that prospect list in, because you need to tell like what are the customers that you need to reach out. Getting on that email, or sorry, getting on that meeting, continuing doing that meeting, and actually finally closing the sale. Rest of the work, which is essentially, if you look at the whole conversation, was seemingly 80% of the work can be automated, and that's what Floworks is. Floworks literally automates the rest of the work that you are basically looking at. You just have to be there, present in the meetings, closing the deals, and revenue will keep on flowing in your company, and you will keep on doing very well. So that's what Floworks is all about.
So that must save a lot of time. So can you walk us through how do you do that?
It's simple, right? Generative AI, with generative AI, the biggest thing that gets unlocked is that it gets reasoning abilities. It basically understands the conversations. And as soon as you are able to understand conversations, you suddenly start understanding or realizing that hey, everything that is happening in a sales call is essentially some kind of conversation. And as soon as the system can understand the intent of that conversation, it can take those decisions where earlier a human was required to be in the loop. So I'll give you a simple example, right? The SDR flow or the sales development flow. In India, we also call that the lead generation flow. What is that? You have a list of prospects, like 500 emails are there. Now you need to send each of them personalized emails, follow up with them. Whenever they respond back, you need to now answer those questions. That's where the intent comes in, right? You have to see what the email is, then answer those questions, and then convert those questions and answers and that email into a meeting with the salesman. Earlier, the part of follow-ups, the part of sending out emails was still doable, but understanding the intent was not doable. Hence, you required a human in the loop. And in India, someone paid, people paid 50,000 rupees, 70,000 rupees per month to a user, or sorry, to a SDR, which is the lead generation. In US, someone was paying $6,000 or $7,000 per month for the same job, right? Someone to basically be in that loop and answer those questions through those meetings. Suddenly, a switch is turned on when now you have generative AI. Generative AI can understand that mail's intent, and can give actually right answers to those intended mails because it also has a glossary of all the conversations, and it can also now push the user to basically set up a meeting. Suddenly, the human in the loop is not required anymore. You can actually scale up your sales organization multifold, and suddenly this whole operation service. Similarly, the CRM part, you have just had the meeting. You have the Zoom transcript or Fireplace transcript. Earlier, someone was required to look at that whole transcript, find out the right things to update in CRM, go and basically add those action items on the CRM, basically to those reminder setups and everything. Put that to a generative AI system, basically like Floworks, and it will find all those action items for you. And voila, it will also go and update those things in the CRM, in the emails, in the calendars for you. That's how the system works. So basically, it just removes the redundant requirement of a human to understand something, understand the content, understand the internet towards the subjects.
So what's the range of apps that Flowworks supports?
Right now, it's already integrated with the whole of Google Suite. So Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Sheet, Google Drive, and also it's connected to CRMs. So Salesforce and HubSpot, the two major CRMs are right now already connected. Front end is connected to Slack, so you can talk to this whole experience using Slack directly. In the near future, we are also coming out with our own web UI, where you'll also not be dependent on Slack. It will actually even translate that.
And are there any other apps which are on the horizon for integration?
Yeah, bunch of them. So if the aim that we have it for us is to make work easy for salespeople or sales organizations across the globe, we are adding up more and more sales tools. So starting with tools like Outreach, tools like Gong, Fireflies, Zoom, for example, Microsoft's ecosystem, Dynamics. The horizon is endless. In the next 6 months, we definitely have a bunch of tools in the contact or lead generation domain getting hired. So essentially things like Apollo, things like Outreach, Gong, similarly. And again, in the meeting experience domain like Zoom, these are the first few tools that are getting integrated.
Got it, got it. So Sarthak, if we were to narrow down your target market, while we understand your aim is to, enhance productivity for sales organizations, could you specify exactly who you are targeting with your value propositions?
So again, sales are the understanding that we actually have is end-to-end sales organizations can benefit from this. But
Hmm.
again, the biggest advantage that any team will get out of this is the team that has high touch sales and have long sales cycle. So let me explain a little bit about what is high touch sales and what is long sales cycles. High touch sales is basically a company that doesn't do just sales, by let's say sending out videos. It's actually someone who's basically having a salesman going on a call and actually doing the sales. And then a longer sales cycle is something where there's not one call that just basically ends into a conversion, but rather there are multiple sales calls that are needed to get those conversions. Now, like a few examples of the industries that have this are essentially software industry, insurance industry, banking, tech, right? So essentially, a lot of those industries. Again, the focus right now we are focusing on the US market and the Australian market, because again, there's the higher paying propensity for these markets for software productivity softwares like Floworks. There we are specifically targeting BFSI and software industry.
So, from all these industries, could you give us the names of some of your existing customers that have benefited from Floworks so far?
So we have a lot of POCs going on right now, but a few that have been converted are companies like Contact Out. They are actually a lead generation company that we might be integrating very soon as well. Then we have companies like Fini, Marqua, Unscript, Aina, who are already using our solutions.
So, Sarthak, let's talk about the user experience a little bit. So, tell me, how intuitive is Flowy for new users, and what kind of onboarding process do you have in place to ensure a very smooth transition if any company wants to integrate Flowworks in their operations?
So it's we have this saying that using Flow is as simple as talking to a human being. Like that's the aim that we have, right? So again, it's generative AI. The aim when we started with, or like the way we start telling about Flow is that it's an AI employee. Now, what should you be expecting out from an employee? Is the same thing that you expect out of Flow. It's very quickly onboard. You just start chatting to it, right? So the onboarding flow is very simple. You log in with Google, or you log in with your email ID, whichever you usually prefer. Then you go in, you have an invite code because we only are letting it in right now, private beta customers. We do not have a public access available right now because again, we want to basically have this controlled, when we are going out to the market. But once you have that in, very simply, just go to three connects, which is 3 clicks. One click is basically with saying yes to Google's integration, like Google Workspace integration. Second yes is to a Slack integration, and third yes is to a CRM integration that you're using. 3 buttons in, within 5 minutes you are ready to use, right? And now what you simply have to do, go to Slack, you'll find Flowy ready to be there, already having every context that it requires because it's already connected to your Google's and your CRM's workspaces. Just start chatting with it in plain English. Just say hi, start having a conversation, and that's it.
Amazing. So, revenue model wise, Sarthak, tell us, how does Flowworks.ai monetize its platform?
So we actually charge a per user per month on a per month basis. So currently we charge $100 per user per month. Or if you're taking an annual package, it's $1,000. So it's essentially 17% cheaper, right? $83 per month. That's what it comes down to. And it's simple, right? With this, what you get is in the email campaigning part, we limit there only like the email campaign. So every month you get 250 emails, or in a year you get 3,000 email campaigns that you can basically run out with Flowing for this charge. If you want more email campaigns, you can basically put an add-on. And apart from that, unlimited sales operations calls, so basically unlimited CRM updates, unlimited inbox management, and unlimited email management, and so on. Right. So that's basically the simple.
Got it. And would you be willing to share any noteworthy business numbers or metrics that you are particularly proud of?
Yeah. Generative AI was supposed to be a magic pill, and for Floworks users, it is. So a typical user with Floworks saves around 18% of the daily working hours, where they were earlier spending on doing all these manual tasks. Right, 1.5 hours to be exact every day is what they save right now. Over 70% users, when asked, if we take away Flow, how will you feel? They were very resistant to it. In fact, they will not be very happy if that feature comes in place, right? For any reason. So yeah, we are very happy with the users. Growth has been significant, and yeah, I think the best thing that is now coming out, because again we were in early beta stage right now, is now we are also seeing people's like teams sales numbers go up directly, right? So around 20 to 25% increase in sales in leads is something that we are seeing, because now their problems of basically having limited number of bandwidth of people, and basically who are managing the sales calls is just going away. People are not losing on calls. People are getting back to getting back to customers on time. more meetings, more leads, more conversions.
You're actually getting to do the real work which you are getting paid for. So amazing.
Yeah.
So where is Floworks based out of in India?
Sure. So in India, we are based out of Bangalore, but technically we actually are a Delaware corporation. So we were a Y Combinator company of 2023 batch. Uh, Hence, we are a Delaware corporation, C Corp. We have a subsidiary based out of Bangalore, HSR, where the whole team sits out of.
So you said you have a co-founder, right? Could you introduce him to us?
So my co-founder's name is Sudipta Viswas. Amazing technical guy. He is the one who has made everything here possible. IIT Kharagpur topper of his batch 2016. Later on, he went and basically was in Goldman Sachs. Was actually the one who was working in the risk team, trying to prevent 2008 not happening again, using AI basically. By the way, then has built out his first company, Enchville Labs, where he was automating umpiring process in cricket because he was an avid cricket fan. Too bad he realized later on that well, hey, people loved the drama of third umpires. So he didn't want people did not want to remove the umpires from the system, right? No. But yeah, he did raise funds for that as well. He actually holds patents for that. Later, he worked as the product manager who and led the GST project at ClearTax, and which is right now being used by millions of SMEs across India, right? Yeah, 2021, 2022, we started Floworks.
So speaking of fundraising only, do you have any investors on board?
So yeah, we have already raised around $1.5 million in funding in 2023. Y Combinator led the round there. Sensei is a notable investor who also led that round. We have very notable investors who actually became a part of that round. Investors like Beyond Capital, Endurance Capital, Thinkovate, Piper Serica, and a couple of angels.
And are you in the process of raising capital now?
Not right now, but in 6 months, we actually are in an amazing growth spree. We want to capitalize on that, and we have very good investor interest coming in because again, Y Combinator, generative AI
Yeah.
doing really well for some of our customers. So yeah, in November is when we start a Series A process for me.
So Sarthak, with you and Sudipta, what is your total team strength as of now?
Is 12. So 12 people along with the two founders. Most of them are engineers. Just one more marketing person apart from me.
Okay, and are there any specific positions that you are looking to hire?
So yes, we are. We are looking at product marketing lead right now, and someone who can help us with AI. So we are an AI company. We are always looking for AI talent. If there's any good people who are looking to work in the cutting edge, literally like the cutting edge space, uh, who are interested in basically working on new novel models. By the way, Flowworks actually works on our own proprietary model called Flow1, right? So it's not out there, right? It's a very, very novel model, right? So yeah, if someone is interested in that space, is someone who is looking into AI, definitely just reach out to me or reach out to like Sudeep, the founder. And the second piece is again, marketing people who can help us with
Hmm.
the USP.
Yes, guys, go ahead. This is your chance. Okay, so Sarthak, we are almost towards the end of this conversation. So tell us, are there any exciting updates or developments on the horizon for Flowworks? Like what can we expect in the next 3 to 6 months?
I think Flowworks actually the most exciting things are actually happening right now, which is the public beta launch. We just started that on 15th of April. We started the first tackling of that, and we have a flurry of customers coming in. So the things that you should look for in the next 6 months is essentially how we scale up to multiple million dollars of revenue, have some of the best customers using us, and how Flowworks actually redefines how people are selling globally. Anything. Right? The aim is to change the way people work. We have been working in a very, very inefficient way for the last hundred plus years since official work office work has been introduced. We want to change it. We want to basically make so that everyone in this world is actually doing what they are supposed to or what they're paid to do, right? Not the extra work, not updating some trackers. Let AI handle that.
Absolutely. So, Satak, considering that we have plans to promote this discussion, this conversation to large enterprises, potential investors, tech giants, and a broader startup ecosystem, is there anything specific that you would like to mention that could help you find any external assistance you require? Like, think of this as your call for support.
Perfect. I'm a startup co-founder, always looking for support. So yeah, yes, potential investors definitely. If you guys are interested in generative AI, are looking at something which is which is setting out of India and changing to change the world. David versus Goliath story. Reach out to us. We are the perfect Davids. Number one. Number two, for customers, yes. If you are a company looking for generative AI solutions, something which can help your sales team be better. Again, I give you the numbers. Like 18% growth is what we are getting already from our earlier customers. You can have that too, right? So if you're looking for that, do reach out to us. We are looking for good customers who can basically start using our solution ASAP. Scale is not a problem. We just want to basically get this going. And specifically, if you are also looking at something, if you are selling or if you actually have a team which is global, our solution is perfect for you because the fun fact is that it is not language bound. Being a generative AI solution, you literally can talk it in Hindi, Marathi, English, French, Latin, some obscure languages no one has heard of as well. It can understand, reply, and do everything in that as well. So, yeah.
Last but not the least, Sarthak, if you could take a moment to look back, as a founder, tell us what has been the most rewarding aspect of building Floworks for you. If you could just pinpoint three factors that have played a very significant role in propelling your business's growth along the way, so what would they be?
The most rewarding part has been the team. I think this is what Vinod Khosla said. I'll paraphrase what he said. Great companies are built by great teams. It's a very, very powerful sentence because great team is not a great individual. It's a team. It's a collective of some amazing individuals who were scattered around the world, somehow brought it together by a single mission, and they now are running towards making that mission a reality or that vision a reality. That has been the most rewarding. I have some of the best people in the industry actually working with me. The best talent. And like, it doesn't matter you are from IIT, NIT, whatever you are from, it doesn't matter. As long as you are passionate and you can find a place in this company, uh, it works wonderfully because you then basically become a part of a change, which is so powerful. And as I am sitting there with that team, that reward, that basically power of change comes to me as well, which has been so the most rewarding. Um, Three most important factors. Number one, definitely the team. Great. Any co-founder right now who's investing their time in anything, the first thing they should be investing is in the team. And team starts with the co-founder. You get the right co-founder and continue building the whole team. That's number one. Number two, which has greatly helped us, is the generative AI boom. We started in 2021. We were not expecting, to the world to know about ChatGPT. We thought it would be a hard sell. How will I tell someone that hey, there's an AI employee that can do all this stuff? Serendipity, 2023, ChatGPT came along, and now no one asks us how this will actually happen. We just tell it. Think about ChatGPT. Think salesperson powered by ChatGPT, and suddenly it just understands. Then we're like, can automatic that as well. So that's number two. And number three, I'll say the investors. They do matter a lot. What I mean by that is, think about the investors who are coming in your journey as your partners. If you have a good partner, obviously investors will not be as invested in the company as a team is, right? But they will come in at the moments where you need them, where an external party is needed for some kind of, extra external, maybe it could be customer needs. It could be basically getting you back to the right problem, basically, helping you with solutions, helping you with partners, right? So great investors, across the board. Obviously, YC needs no introduction, but it's worth it. People do ask me a lot of times, is YC worth it? I'm like, yeah, it's YC. There's some reason why it's, YC. Right? Apart from that, Sensei, I definitely check them out. Rahul is a great guy. Endurance, Thinkuvate, Beyond It, all the investors that I have been super helpful. So getting good investors early on is really, really important.
Very well said. And on that note, let's move on to our rapid fire round. So I've prepared just 5 questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure. Um,
Okay. Question number one, a book that you would like to recommend to the youth that has greatly influenced your career journey.
Hard things about hard things.
Okay. Question number two, which productivity tool or app do you find most helpful in your, daily work?
Floworks.
I knew it. Why did I even ask? Okay. Question number three, a fun fact about you that most people don't know yet.
I love cooking. I have been experimenting through my life. I'm not a COVID cooker, like basically people who learned cooking after COVID.
Yeah,
I've been someone who has been cooking since early childhood, and it's one of the best stress relievers. In fact, I purposefully give my cook holidays on days so that I can cook myself.
that's amazing. Okay, question number four. So there's a saying that, don't tell me who you are, just tell me what brands you use. So describe yourself using just the names of three brands.
Cool. Fossil, Apple, and Nike.
That was quick. Okay, last but not the least, what is your one piece of advice for the young audience watching this?
Chase after your dreams. Otherwise, you will regret it through your life. Entrepreneurship is fun, exciting if you want to do it. But if not, whatever your dream is, just run after it. Don't wait. Don't look for validation from others. Just look for validation from yourself.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarthak. And one last thing before we wrap this up, I want you to make a wish for your startup out loud that you hope comes true in the near future. Any wish?
So $1 billion in revenue in the next 5 years.
Well, here's to Floworks.ai, where every interaction, every task automated brings us one step closer to a more efficient and collaborative tomorrow. All the very best, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Amrita. It was amazing being here and talking to you.
So if you'd like to stay updated with the latest developments and business insights from Floworks.ai, make sure to follow their channel on follow.us/startups. And I'll see you in the next one.